Assalamualaikum and Hi Madam. We are from Group 6. We represented our OPM655 project management about wedding Hasif and Syahirah, and this is our team members. So without wasting time, let's get started.
Hi Madam, my name is Mohd Fitri bin ZULKEFLY as the project manager of this project. Before we get started, let me introduce some information about our company background. Our group, known as Alif Event Consultancy. Alif Event Consultancy is a full services company that offers complete consulting services for weddings and every extraordinary events. Our consultants are experienced and dedicated professionals with many years of event planning experience. Alif Event Consultancy is aware of the needs of customer and it is very happy to work with their customer to generate their dream event. Okay, why we chose Alif as our company name? Okay, the name of Alif was chosen from the 5 syllables of the names of 5 members of Alif Event Consultancy, which are A for Ain, L for Luqman, I for IZYAN, F for FARISHA, and Z for Zulfitri. Okay, now let's move to the WBS, Work Breakdown Structure. WBS is a method for completing a complex and multi-step project. It is a strategy for dividing and conquering big projects to complete them more quickly and effectively. To help ensure that all work and tasks can be done, projects need to be identified and included in the baseline project plan and establish a WBS. Why? This is because WBS is a structured approach to grouping all project work and deliveries into logical groups and breaking them down into more manageable components. As you can see, the figure shows the work breakdown structure WBS for Hasif and Syahirah Wedding, which led by Zulfitri and his team. So, our WBS was consist of 4 levels, which are level 0, level 1, level 2, and level 3, which the 20 work items. It was divided into 6 major departments: location led by Luqman, teams led by Zulfitri, entertainment led by FARISHA, food led by Ain, bridal led by IZYAN, and guests led by Ameh. Each department has been broken into a smaller batch, where the location of the wedding hall and research venue by Luqman and book the venue by Zulfitri. For wedding teams, lighting will be handled by Zulfitri while Luqman will do the decoration. Next, the audio will be handled by Ameh and MC by FARISHA. For food, there were 3 smaller parts, which were food and vendors handled by Ain, dessert by IZYAN, and cake by FARISHA. Syahirah will finalize all the menu, dessert and cake. Then, clothes for the bridal will be handled by IZYAN, and the bride, Hasif and Syahirah, will choose their dress. For the last part, Hasif and Syahirah will make a guest list and Ameh will do the invitation design and pack the door gift, while on the day of wedding, IZYAN will handle the door gift.
Next, we move to the next slide, which is responsible assignment metric that known as RAM. The RAM may use the P as the primary responsible and S to indicate support responsible for specific item. There is only one individual should be designed as the lead of primary responsible for each work item. For example, based on figure of RAM for Hasif and Syahirah's wedding project indicates that Luqman has primary responsible for WBS item 1, which is wedding hall, with Zulfitri and FARISHA as a supporting this work item. Next, I will explain about sequence activity table and known as SA. What is sequence activity? Sequence activity is a define the sequence of how the activity will get done. As Madam and others can see, this is a web-based report for Hasif and Syahirah Wedding project. They have 20 activities that consist of location, teams, entertainment, food, bridal and guests. Not only that, under sequence activity, they are the circumstance of immediate predecessor, responsible person and times. For responsible person is the person that responsible for each activity, while for time is how long a day that have been taken for complete the activity.
Next, I will proceed with Gantt chart. Gantt chart is one of the most common and useful methods of showing activities, tasks or events displayed against times, which is frequently used in project management. Gantt charts are essential for the project execution quality management because they guarantee that work is carried out in accordance with requirements and relevant standards and the deliverable meet requirements for acceptance. Thus, it helps our team in project planning, monitoring and management of this event. As shown in this slide, this is our Gantt chart for wedding project, which shows both planned and finished work through time. Our project duration for Gantt chart is tally with our sequence activity table, which is 181 days. With Gantt chart, we can identify the timeline and milestone of our project. Next is network diagram. Network diagram is a tool for arranging the specific activities in the appropriate sequence. Simply described, a network diagram is a schematic or map of our current network that shows the components and connections. The purpose of this diagram was to show the relationship between the task and the project's activity flow. It can guarantee that the project flow will be efficient. As you can see in this slide, this is a network diagram for the wedding of Syahirah and Hasif. In this network diagram, we have activity, arrow, and immediate predecessor. There are 20 activities specified for our project, each of which is connected with an arrow to demonstrate how they are interdependent, and there is a person in charge in every activity that required to control and monitor the flows of each activity. Based on the network diagram, activity 1 and 2 is crucial, which we need to complete it first before proceed to the next activity. This is because before book the venue, we need to find and choose the type of wedding hall and make a research of the venue first. Furthermore, a network diagram can simultaneously produce the project essentials part and detect the project slack time. After sitting down with the team and calculating the earliest start, activity in this project can be started as earliest as possible and can be completed earliest within 159 days. Knowing when an activity can begin and end allows for flexibility in allocating resources to other tasks that may have an impact on the critical road and ultimately the project's completion date. It ensures that the project will be completed on time and will enhance our client satisfaction. Next is a scheduling table. Scheduling tables represent cyclic execution patterns, meaning that once the pattern of the table is completed, it immediately restarts. In the scheduling table, it has earliest start, earliest finish, latest start, latest finish, total slack, and critical paths. As for Syahirah and Hasif wedding, we have calculated the earliest start, which is the specific activity begin, earliest finish, which activity can be complete by adding the activity's estimate duration to the activities earlier, latest start, and latest finish for the overall activities of this event, which consists of 20 activities. For activity 1, the value of earliest start is 0 and following with the earliest finish on day 11. The latest finish that we have calculated for each activity in this project is to specify the activity must be completed within the time frame. Furthermore, this wedding event will take 181 days for required completion days to make a preparation from beginning. Based on the needed completion period, which our project is 181 days, the latest start specific activity must be started for the full project to be completed by subtracting the activity estimated duration from the activity latest finish time. A project's completion date may be affected if an activity's total slack, which is its amount of time, is delayed. However, based on the scheduling table on this slide, there is positive overall slack on our scheduling table, which will allow some activities to be postponed without endangering the project's main event, the wedding of Hasif and Syahirah, and our needed completion time of 181 days.
Hi, my name is FARISHA and I will present about critical path. Critical path is the longest path in the overall network diagram. To calculate critical path, we need to calculate the ES, EF, LS, and LF. As you can see, for Hasif and Syahirah's wedding, we have been listing out all the activity and calculate for ES, EF, LS, and LF. To get the amount of slack, the formula is LF minus 2EF. The lowest amount for slack that we get is -6, and it shows how the activity is perfectly be completed. Our critical path is the activity we have been highlighted with blue color. Next, move on to resource requirement plan. This can be defined to illustrate the expected utilization of resource by time period during the time span of the project. As you can see, this is for Hasif and Syahirah Wedding Resource Requirement Plan. Our resource requirement plan has been created by refer to our network diagram, which the network diagram to show the relationship between the task and the project activity flows. While this project estimate completions are within 6 months, as you can see, each activity has weeks and workers. For example, for activity 1, wedding hall, we need to complete with 2 workers within 2 weeks. Meanwhile, research for venue will be 4 workers with 4 weeks. So week 1 until week 6, they need to complete the task with 1 worker per week. So Hasif and Syahirah wedding plan is 38 weeks. So to get the number of workers and weeks, for example, 4 weeks need to multiply by 1 worker, and we will get 4. So do the same step until complete for 20 activity, and the number of total weeks will same as total amount of workers. This is our chart of resource requirement plan of Hasif and Syahirah wedding project. This is consisting of numbers of workers and weeks. As you can see on the chart, for week 1 until week 8, there are 1 worker needed for each week. But in week 9, we need 2 workers to complete because they have 2 activities need to be done on that week. Now for resource leveling, it is a method for developing a schedule that attempts to minimize the fluctuations in requirement for resource. We choose to do resource leveling is to create a timetable that ensures that resource usage is as even as possible while not causing the project to take longer than necessary to complete. Our project has ensured that all tasks are equally distributed to the workers so that there is no imbalance in the number of workers performing each activity that has been assigned. This is also done to avoid similar situation from happening and to ensure that no one person is given an unfair amount of work or repeated tasks. Risk assessment metric is a visual tool that illustrates various risks that could impact an organization, that including potential risk, potential impact, likelihood of occurrence, and response plans. This is the risk assessment metric which contains 5 risks. Firstly, rain on the day of the event. The likelihood of occurrence is a medium and the degree of impact is high. So the action trigger is to check the weather forecast 2 to 3 days before the event. Number 2 is technical problem. Likelihood of occurrence is medium and degree of impact is high. For mishap like fire or accident, the likelihood of occurrence is low and the impact of degree is high. So response plan will be providing a fire extinguisher. For food shortage and limited parking, the likelihood of occurrence and degree of impact are medium and high. This is because the risks are rarely happening.
A total budgeted cost TBC, also known as a budget at completion BAC, for each work package is established by adding the projected cost of all the stated activities to perform and complete each work package in the WBS. The figure shown is the total budgeted cost. The amount for each work package indicates that TBC for working and finishing of all of the work packages individual activities. Each case has a specific amount that has been provided for each of their costs. Each work has cost and at the end will lead to the total amount of 24,000. Which has been divided each, where it can be seen that for location booking has a total of 3,000 ringgit, for themes is 916 ringgit, entertainment selection 4,000 ringgit, and food it costs 13,350, where the clothes cost 900 ringgit. The last one, which is to develop and plan for guest list and gift, is a total of 1,800 ringgit. All of the combined total is 24,000 ringgit to plan for the wedding. Next, cumulative cost. Cumulative budgeted cost BC is the amount budgeted to accomplish all the work scheduled to be performed up to a specific point in time. A planned project is to be divided into activities and tasks. There are 6, which is location, themes, entertainment, food, bridal, and guests. As can be seen from the table, each cost for each week is established based on the project expenses incurred for finishing the project using all the resources provided by wedding planner. The overall cost of the Hasif and Syahirah wedding is expected to be 24,000. At first, the job will cost 500 ringgit in total. The prior expense is multiplied by the cost for each period. After 1 week, the entire cost is 10,000 ringgit. After 2 weeks, the whole expense is 15,000 ringgit. The 4th week, total is 2,000 ringgit, and so on by adding the previous week's cost to the following week's cost. At the end of the week, the total must match the total budget cost. In conclusion, the wedding project for Hasif and Syahirah can be concluded that this project takes 156 days to complete. Meanwhile, the total budget cost for this project is 24,000 ringgit in total. In our project management, it is important to include all of the project specifications so that we, as a project manager, can identify the project scopes and all the requirements needed to complete the project successfully. That is all from us. Thank you, Madam.